Hello everyone, and welcome back to English Life Project. I'm Alex, and I'm very happy to spend some time with you today.
And I'm Lisa. It's wonderful to have you here with us again. Whether you are relaxing at home, commuting to work, or enjoying a walk outside, thank you for listening.
Today, we have a topic that is simple, practical, and very useful in everyday conversations.
Yes, we're going to talk about how to talk about your family in English.
Family is one of the most common topics in conversations. People often ask about family when they are getting to know each other.
You might hear questions like, do you have any brothers or sisters? Or how many people are in your family?
And because these questions are so common, it is helpful to know how to answer them naturally and confidently.
In this episode, we will use clear and natural English for B1 to B2 learners.
We will also explain useful words and expressions that you can use in your own conversations.
And remember, you do not need to understand every single word. Just relax and follow the conversation.
Before we begin, we would like to give you a simple question to think about while you listen.
Here is the question. How would you describe your family to someone you just met?
Maybe your family is big and busy.
Maybe it is small and quiet.
Maybe you live with your family now.
Or maybe your family lives in a different city or country.
There are many different kinds of families, and every family has its own story.
That is one reason why family is such an interesting topic of conversation.
Lisa, let me ask you something. When you meet someone for the first time, do you usually talk about family?
Yes, sometimes. Not immediately, but after a few minutes of conversation, family often comes up naturally.
I agree. It is a topic that helps people learn more about each other.
And usually it feels comfortable because most people can share something about their family.
So imagine that someone asks you, "Can you tell me a little about your family?"
That is a very common question.
How would you answer?
I might say, sure, I come from a small family. I have one older brother, and my parents live in the countryside.
That sounds natural and easy to understand.
Thank you. I think simple answers are often the best answers.
I agree. Many English learners worry that their answers are not long enough.
But in real conversations, people usually start with simple information.
Then the conversation grows little by little.
Exactly. If someone says they have a brother, the other person might ask, is he older or younger than you?
Or they might ask, what does he do? And then the conversation continues naturally. Let's talk about some useful family vocabulary.
Good idea. The most basic words are mother, father, sister, and brother.
You can also say mom and dad in informal conversations.
Another useful phrase is only child.
An only child is a person who does not have any brothers or sisters.
For example, you can say, I'm an only child, so I grew up without siblings.
Siblings is another useful word.
Yes, siblings means brothers and sisters.
Instead of saying, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister, you can sometimes say, I have 3 siblings.
That makes your sentence shorter and more natural.
Now let's talk about older and younger siblings.
If your brother was born before you, he is your older brother.
And if he was born after you, he is your younger brother.
The same rule works for sisters.
Lisa, do you think family vocabulary is difficult for English learners?
Not usually. The words themselves are often easy. The challenge is using them naturally in conversation.
That makes sense.
For example, instead of saying, my family consists of 4 members, many people simply say, there are 4 people in my family.
The second sentence sounds more natural in everyday conversation.
Yes, especially when you are speaking casually.
Let me give another example.
Go ahead.
Instead of saying, my father is employed as an engineer, you can simply say, my dad is an engineer.
That sounds much more conversational.
Family conversations are usually friendly and relaxed.
So simple language often works best.
Another thing people often talk about is where their family lives.
Yes, someone might say, my parents live near the coast, or most of my relatives live in another country.
Relatives is another useful word.
Relatives include family members such as aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, and others in your extended family.
Speaking of cousins, do you have many cousins, Lisa?
Yes, actually I do. My family is quite large, so I grew up with many cousins around me.
That must have made family gatherings very lively.
It certainly did. There was always someone to talk to, play with, or laugh with.
Family gatherings are another interesting topic because they're different in every culture.
Some families meet every week, while others only meet during holidays or special occasions.
And these differences often lead to interesting conversations when you meet people from different countries.
Exactly. Talking about family is not only a way to practice English, it is also a way to learn about other people and their lives.
And that is one of the reasons why this topic is so useful for everyday communication.
In the next part of our conversation, we will look at more detailed ways to describe family relationships, personalities, and family traditions.
Now let's continue our conversation and explore some deeper ways to talk about family in English.
Yes, because after the basic questions, people often become curious about family relationships and personalities.
For example, someone may ask, "Are you close to your family?"
That is a very common question, especially when people want to know more about your personal life.
If your relationship with your family is strong, you can say, "Yes, we are very close."
Or you can say, "We get along very well."
Get along is a useful expression.
It means having a good relationship with someone.
For example, "My sister and I get along very well."
Or, "I get along with my parents because we communicate openly."
Of course, not every family relationship is perfect.
That is true. Sometimes people love each other but still disagree about certain things.
In that case, someone might say, "We have our differences, but we care about each other."
That sounds honest and natural.
Lisa, do you think it is important to be honest when talking about family?
Yes, but I also think people should share only what they feel comfortable sharing.
I completely agree.
You do not have to tell strangers every detail about your family life.
Sometimes a simple answer is enough.
For example, if someone asks about your relationship with your family, you can simply say, "We are quite close," or "We support each other."
Support is another useful word.
When family members support each other, they help each other through challenges and difficulties.
You might say, "My parents have always supported my goals."
Or, "My brother supported me when I moved to a new city."
These are very natural examples.
Another thing people often discuss is personality.
Yes, families are interesting because everyone can be very different.
You may have a quiet sister and a very talkative brother.
Or a serious father and a funny mother.
When describing family members, personality adjectives are extremely useful.
Let's share a few examples.
Someone who enjoys talking and meeting people can be described as outgoing.
A person who likes helping others can be described as caring.
Someone who stays calm during difficult situations may be described as patient.
And a person who works hard and takes responsibilities seriously can be described as responsible.
Here's an example. My mother is very caring and always thinks about other people.
Another example could be, "My older brother is responsible and organized."
These descriptions help people create a picture in their minds.
Exactly. Instead of only saying who your family members are, you explain what they are like.
Lisa, if you had to describe one family member in a few words, who would you choose?
I would choose my grandfather.
And how would you describe him?
I would say he's patient, wise, and kind.
Those are wonderful qualities.
He always listened carefully before giving advice.
That reminds me of my grandmother.
Really?
Yes, she was one of the calmest people I have ever known.
It is interesting how grandparents often leave strong memories.
I think it is because they usually have many life experiences to share.
Speaking of experiences, family traditions are another topic that appears often in conversations.
Yes, especially when people from different cultures meet.
A family tradition is something that a family does regularly over many years.
It can be connected to holidays, celebrations, food, or special activities.
For example, some families always have a large meal together during important holidays.
Others may take a family trip every summer.
My family used to have a tradition of gathering every Sunday afternoon.
What did you usually do?
We shared food, talked about our week, and spent time together.
That sounds simple but meaningful.
Often the simplest traditions become the most memorable.
I agree. Traditions help families stay connected.
They also create memories that people carry throughout their lives.
Another common topic is family celebrations.
Birthdays are a good example.
Yes, if someone asks about your family, they may ask, how do you celebrate birthdays?
You could answer, we usually have dinner together and spend time with relatives.
Or, we keep birthdays simple and celebrate at home.
Notice how these answers are personal but not complicated.
That is important for English learners.
Many learners think they need advanced vocabulary to sound natural.
But natural communication is often about clarity rather than complexity.
Let's imagine another conversation.
Good idea.
Someone asks, who are you closest to in your family?
I might answer, I'm closest to my sister because we talk almost every day.
Then the other person could ask, what do you usually talk about?
And I could say, we talk about work, daily life, and future plans.
Notice how one simple answer creates another question.
That is how conversations grow naturally.
You do not need long speeches.
You only need enough information to keep the conversation moving.
Another useful phrase is look up to.
That is a great expression.
If you look up to someone, you admire them and respect them.
For example, I look up to my mother because she works hard and stays positive.
Or I looked up to my grandfather when I was younger.
These expressions make your English sound more natural and expressive.
Family conversations also sometimes include childhood memories.
Yes, people often enjoy sharing stories from when they were young.
Someone might say, when I was a child, my cousins and I spent every summer together.
Or, my father taught me how to ride a bicycle.
These stories help people connect emotionally.
They also make conversations more interesting because they include personal experiences.
Another useful question is, what is your family known for?
That is an interesting one.
A person might answer, my family is known for being very welcoming.
Or, my family is known for our sense of humor.
Those answers tell people something unique.
Every family has its own personality in a way.
Some families are very energetic.
Some are very quiet.
Some enjoy large gatherings.
Others prefer small and peaceful moments together.
And none of these styles is better than another.
They are simply different.
As you listen, think about your own family.
What words would you use to describe the people around you?
Which family traditions are important to you?
And which family member has influenced your life the most?
These questions are excellent practice because they help you connect English to your real experiences.
And when English connects to your real life, it becomes easier to remember and use naturally.
In the final part of this episode, we will talk about modern family life, useful conversation examples, and practical vocabulary that you can start using right away. Welcome back to the final part of today's episode. So far, we have talked about basic family vocabulary, family relationships, personalities, and traditions.
And now we are going to look at modern family life and some practical conversation examples that you can use in real situations.
One important thing to remember is that families today can look very different from one another.
Yes, some people live with their parents and siblings.
Some live with a partner and children.
Some live alone but stay closely connected to their family.
And some families live in different cities or even different countries.
Because of technology, many families stay in touch through video calls, messages, and social media.
Staying in touch is a useful expression.
It means maintaining communication with someone.
For example, I live abroad, but I stay in touch with my family every week.
Or, my cousins live far away, but we stay in touch online.
Modern life can be busy, so many people make an effort to stay connected.
Make an effort means trying actively to do something.
You might say, my family makes an effort to have dinner together whenever possible.
Small efforts often help relationships stay strong.
Lisa, what do you think is one challenge that many families face today?
I think time is a big challenge.
I agree.
People have work, studies, responsibilities, and many daily tasks.
Sometimes everyone is busy at different times.
That is why many families try to create special moments together.
Even a short conversation during dinner can be meaningful.
Or a phone call during the weekend.
Now let's practice some useful conversation examples.
Great idea.
Imagine you meet someone at a language exchange event.
They ask, "Do you have a big family?"
You could answer, "Not really, my family is quite small. I have one brother and my parents live nearby."
Then they might ask, "Are you close to your brother?"
And you could say, "Yes, we are. We talk several times a week."
Notice that the answers are simple but complete.
Let's try another example.
Someone asks, "Who are you most similar to in your family?"
I might answer, "I'm most similar to my father because we both enjoy reading and learning new things."
That answer gives information and creates opportunities for more conversation.
Exactly.
The other person might then ask about your favorite books.
And the conversation continues naturally.
Here is another common question. What do you usually do with your family?
A simple answer could be, we usually have meals together, watch movies, and talk about our week.
Or, we enjoy spending time outdoors when the weather is nice.
Everyday activities are often the easiest things to talk about.
Because they are real parts of your life.
Another useful topic is family values.
Family values are the beliefs and principles that families consider important.
For example, some families place a strong value on education.
Others place a strong value on honesty, respect, or helping others.
You might say, "My parents taught me the importance of hard work."
Or, respect is a very important value in my family.
These sentences help people understand your background.
They also help you express deeper ideas in English.
Now let's review some useful expressions from today's episode.
The first expression is get along.
Get along means having a good relationship with someone.
Example, I get along well with my sister.
The next expression is stay in touch.
Stay in touch means continuing to communicate with someone.
Example, I stay in touch with my grandparents every weekend.
Another useful expression is look up to.
Look up to means admire and respect someone.
Example, I look up to my mother because she is hardworking and kind.
We also learned make an effort.
This means trying actively to do something.
Example, we make an effort to spend time together.
Another useful word is supportive.
Supportive describes someone who encourages and helps others.
Example, my family has always been very supportive.
We also use the word welcoming.
Welcoming means friendly and happy to receive guests or new people.
Example, my family is very welcoming.
Let's talk about one final idea before we finish.
Family conversations are not only about vocabulary.
They are also about connection.
When people ask about your family, they are often trying to understand who you are.
They want to learn about your experiences, your relationships, and your background.
That is why simple and honest answers usually work best.
You do not need perfect English.
You do not need complicated words.
You simply need to communicate your ideas clearly.
The more you practice talking about real topics from your life, the more confident you will become.
And family is one of the best topics to practice because everyone has experiences and stories to share.
Before we finish, think again about the question we asked at the beginning.
How would you describe your family to someone you just met?
Maybe now you have more vocabulary and more confidence to answer that question.
Perhaps you can describe your family members, your traditions, or the values that are important to you.
You can even practice right now.
Try speaking out loud for 1 or 2 minutes about your family.
Do not worry about mistakes.
Focus on communication.
Every conversation is a chance to improve.
And every small step helps build fluency.
If you would like to practice, write a few sentences about your family in the comments.
You can write, I'm your name from your country, and this is something about my family.
It's a simple and effective way to practice English.
And we always enjoy hearing from listeners around the world.
Thank you for spending this time with us today.
We hope this episode helped you feel more comfortable talking about your family in English.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in your progress.
Your English grows one conversation at a time.
Take care, stay curious, and keep using English in your daily life.
We'll see you in the next episode of English Life Project.
Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for listening.